Jehnny Beth, welcome to Australian Musician.
Well, hi.
You've just released your second solo album, You Heartbreaker You. Having completed it, where does it sit with your other achievements? How proud of it are you?
Oh, I'm always really proud of what I come, what I put out, hopefully. I like it. Of course, I love it. Um, but also I just think that I always think the best work is always the next. So we'll see what comes after.
So,
Um,
how long after completing a project do you start thinking about the next one?
Oh, I don't know how long. There's no rule, I guess, but I try to stay open, I try to stay alert because, ideas come by and then they go away. So you have to make sure you catch them before they disappear.
Yeah. These sonic soundscapes are so epic on the album. How simple were the initial sparks, the initial ideas, though?
Well, I I knew I really wanted to make this record and this type of record when I was on stage in America, touring with Queens of the Stone Age, and playing these sort of hardcore metal festivals as well, and um, and I said to Johnny Hostile, who I made the record with, that I really wanted to put the guitar, electric guitar center again, and because um I knew he was a really good guitarist and riff maker, and the major influence was Quicksand, a band from New York City, New York hardcore, which sort of married, shoegaze and hardcore together, and how I was just interested in how in my world that would turn out to be, with my voice and so there were parts of it that was easy because making the record was very fluid. It sort of, because it was just the two of us, it became this sort of isolated sort of state place, and but not apart from the world. Like we felt very connected to the world, but in a way we felt also in our own world. And that was very joyful. I had a really great time recording this album.
Yeah. It's very, I suppose you could say, aggressive sounding sometimes. When
Yeah.
when did you first discover that kind of music and why did it appeal to you?
Um, I mean, I've always been drawn to rock music in general. I guess one of the first bands that really introduced me to hardcore was Fugazi when I was around 20 years old. So I never seen them live, but I first watched the documentary Instrument, and I really fell in love with their music, their ethos, their way they would dance on stage. I mean, how the way Guy Picciotto expresses the music through his body was something that I felt transcended me. Like it felt, I looked at it and I was like, I want to do that. So I guess that would be the first band introduced me to hardcore. But then Converge is one of the first band I saw live as well, that felt that had the energy I had, an intensity that I had not seen somewhere else. It was my first mosh pit. So yeah, I guess it's American hardcore really, that at an early age really excited me. And then for this record, I sort of revived, went back to with band like Quicksand, as I said.
Yeah. Why did you name the album You Heartbreaker You? And did you agonize over the title? Did it come to you quickly? You had
Uh, No, I didn't agonize. Like I just let things happen, the I knew that eventually the title will come up, It's just if I start thinking about it, every day a little bit, then it would just come. So the title is from a lyric from one of the songs called Obsession. When I wrote the song and that lyric, I never thought it would be the title. It sort of revealed itself after. I just felt, I can't remember. It just, I think the idea of living with a broken heart is something that I feel is also symptomatic of our times. I think the world is a heartbreaker. I feel heartbroken. I feel broken. But also I can't embrace despair, you know. And so I think the idea of living is you know, living with something broken, and accepting it, like breathing with a broken rib. It's something that everybody can relate to, I think, as well. And I think if you're heartbroken, it means that your heart is working. It means that you are sane, that you're a functioning individual. If you're feeling displaced and maladjusted to a sick society, it means that you are healthy. Um, but but we can't embrace despair. So I think that part of it is really important. So I think You Heartbreaker You means that the people you love will always break your heart.
Yeah.
That anything you do with your heart means that you know, one day you'll have it broken, you know. Um, it's a fatality, but it's also, I approach it with tenderness. I think that's why there's the You Heartbreaker You. There's tenderness to it.
Yeah. You mentioned broken rib. How do you prepare for in the studio doing the vocals for a track like Broken Rib? Any recording rituals? Anything
Yeah,
you psych yourself up?
I yeah, I listen to a lot of Mike Patton.
Okay.
I do actually. I do listen to Mike Patton before doing a vocal track because I'm just thinking how his breathing, how quickly does he switch from one texture to another. I'm listening to his technique because I don't think there's a singer out there that, you know, matches his technique, and his the way he does it is incredible because it marries technique and soul and heart. There's a heart in his singing. You always believe what he says. Um, so there's a few singers like him, but I think he's quite unique as well because he can be a soprano and then a screamer, you know, and in a split of a second. And I kind of wanted that to touch on that. Not saying I did because I can't match his level, but I was trying to touch on that sort of velocity, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Do you remember how many takes you did of that vocal?
I mean, it depends. Some songs I sing and it's the first take, I keep it. Like I Still Believe is my first take in there. Um, No Good for People is my first take as well. But I think songs like Broken Rib, but I think it's also when it's the beginning, you look for character. And I'm very hard with myself. Like if I listen to a take and I'm like, I don't believe in it. I don't believe when I sing. I'm not there, you know. The hardest job for an artist, I think, is to be present in the present. And that's something that's hard to do in life, but as an artist, it's something you have to do in order to create your best work. And sometimes I'm like everybody else, I'm not there, you know. I don't want to be there. I start my day, I want to be somewhere else, someone else. I don't want to be me. I don't want to be in that present, in that moment. And so you need to find tricks to keep you in the present.
Yeah. I love the outro to the final song, I See Your Pain, where the guitar lingers strumming just for a few seconds and
Yeah.
it fades out. It's like the listener has survived this epic journey, come to the end of it. Was that intentional?
Last stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it intentional or just a happy accident to
It's
end?
a happy accident, but it's intentional to keep it. Yeah, I edit when we work with Johnny Hostile, I do a lot of editing because he would be playing, you know, he plays all the instruments on the record, and then I go on a desk and I listen to everything, and sometimes there's some magic that he hasn't noticed that I save, you know. So that was one of the things when I think he was playing the track sort of without thinking, and not even thinking that he was recorded, and so I save it, and I try to find a place for it, because I think those moments are very magical. I'm glad you noticed it.
Yeah. Well, what have you learned about silence in contrast to sound and noise? Do you enjoy silence?
Yeah, I think music comes from silence. I like silence very much in my life, but also I think that if you're unable to listen to the silence, you can't come up with the sound. When I sing, I had a teacher when I was really young who once told me about singing, that if you cannot sing a note if you don't hear it first in your head. And that sort of changed my perspective on singing. It meant that the sound is already there. It already exists, and you're just a sort of how do you say, a transporter, like your means. The sound is going through you, basically. You're a tool for it to appear, you know. Um, and so it sort of, it enables you to put less ego into it as well, and just see yourself as a transporter, or a passeur, like in French we say. Um, and on stage, I think the same thing. I think I'm the music goes through me. I'm not the creator of the music. The music already exists before me, and it goes through me, and I'm just a channel for it. So silence is part of that, because if you listen to the silence, you'll hear all the music before it exists.
Yeah. Um, in September, you performed at the In Dreams David Lynch tribute with a few Australians, Sophia Bruce, Mick Harvey,
Yeah.
you and Jay Callanan. What are your memories of
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I was really glad I was able to join. It's a show we had done 10 years before. And David Coulter really wanted to revisit it, which I thought was appropriate since David Lynch passed, and it was an incredible show, so I was happy to do it again. I thought it was impressive, all these kind of amazing singers, you know. It was quite a lineup, and it was great to hear all these different voices mingling. Um, and I changed a bit my tracks, and I loved singing, you know. I mean, Song to the Siren is a very beautiful track from Tim Buckley, but it's also very hard to sing, and but I was glad. But it's also very, I don't know, it has such a soul, this song. It transports you, you know. So it was great. It was very, it reminded me that I love singing, you know.
Yeah. You were last in Australia in 2014 with Savages. Any chance
Wow.
we might see you back here doing this new material?
I'd love to. I have no idea, but I'd love to. If someone's hearing this and wants to put on a show in Australia, uh, just so people know, I'd love to.
Uh,
Mm.
what else have you got coming up leading into 2026? Do you have any more movie work?
Yeah, I mean, just to finish, I'd love to go back to play in Australia. I've got so many friends there, and Australian music has been a huge influence for me. You know, up from Roland S. Howard and Nick Cave, obviously, but also a band called Hate Rock, which is really dear friend of mine. So I love to see them again. I think Melbourne is very special. I don't know where you're from, but
Yeah, I mean,
um, okay. And so I've got so many friends there, and musical friends, and so it'll be a great, huge pleasure to be back. And also Australia is the first um it's the first time I went on stage sober was in Melbourne when I played with Savages there. And I haven't drunk since, and I feel very intensely about that show when I cried after two songs because I could hear the audience. I couldn't hear them as much when I was less sober, let's say. And so I have a really vivid memory of that show. Um, yeah, and yeah, so Australia does some of the best music in the world. So
Yes.
yeah, it'll be great to go back.
And
And
Roland is Howard has a street named after him in Melbourne.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, yeah. Incredible guitarist and songwriter. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be great to go back. So what do I have until the end of the year? I mean, I'm going on tour, so I'm starting rehearsals today, and my first show is on Saturday. And then I'm going on tour in Europe. So a few places are sold out. I'm very excited about that. And yeah, and then I'm finishing shooting for a movie in France, and then I'll go back into, you know, writing more. And I've got a few collaborations. People have asked me to write vocals for their songs, and I'm really excited about that. Can't really tell more right now, but so yeah, I'm gonna go back to the studio after the tour and do those tracks with artists I really love. So excited.
Yeah. Well, Jehnny, it's been great to chat and lovely to
Thank you.
and hope to see you down here in Australia soon.
Thank you for your time, and I hope so too.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye bye.